Monday, 29 June 2026. 3 Asia-Pacific AI stories before your first coffee. 3 major Asia AI policy deadlines are converging within a single week. China's anthropomorphic AI rules, which impose disclosure and behavioral constraints on human-like AI systems, switch on 15 July, giving developers barely 2 weeks to comply. Singapore's consultation on how generative AI models handle training data closes 1 July, while Hong Kong's expanded Gen AI regulatory sandbox stops accepting applications on 30 June. The overlap is not coincidental. Regulators across the region have been coordinating timelines informally since late 2025, and this cluster marks the densest week of binding AI policy action Asia has seen this year. Why it matters? Builders shipping human-like AI agents into China need compliant disclosure mechanisms live before the 15 July cutoff, which means engineering and legal teams are already in crunch mode. Singapore's data consultation will shape how foundation model developers source and document training corpora across Southeast Asia, setting a template that Malaysia and Thailand are watching closely. Hong Kong's sandbox closure forces any fintech or health tech startup wanting regulatory cover for Gen AI products to file by Monday. Capital allocators should note that compliance cost spikes around cluster deadlines tend to favor incumbents with dedicated policy teams, while smaller startups either rush filings or sit out the cycle entirely. The second order effect worth tracking: whether China's anthropomorphic rules create a de facto regional standard that Southeast Asian regulators adopt by reference rather than drafting from scratch. So, Singapore's 2 super app giants are racing to embed AI agents directly into their platforms. Grab unveiled 13 AI features at its GrabX 2026 event, spanning ride-hailing, food delivery, and financial services, while C Group is leaning on its in-house Sailor 2 model, trained on roughly 400 billion Southeast Asian language tokens to power commerce and payments across Shopee and SeaMoney. Grab posted its first full-year profit of approximately $200 million in 2025, giving it fresh capital to fund the AI push. Why it matters? When the 2 platforms that collectively touch hundreds of millions of Southeast Asian consumers start routing daily transactions through AI agents, the competitive mode shifts from network density to model quality and data depth. Builders integrating with Grab or Shopee should expect new agent-facing APIs and tighter platform lock-in, as each company tries to keep users inside its own AI layer. Regulators across ASEAN, particularly Singapore's PDPC and Indonesia's ComInfo, face immediate pressure to clarify how personal data flows through agentic workflows that make purchasing decisions on behalf of users. The second order effect worth tracking: whichever super app nails agent-driven conversion rates first will likely pull merchant ad spend away from Google and Meta across the region, reshaping digital advertising economics in Southeast Asia. Now, New Delhi is backing 12 domestic builders to develop sovereign language models aimed at serving India's 22 officially recognized languages, with 4 state-funded models already demonstrated at the February India AI Summit. Solvam AI has fielded 3 billion and 105 billion parameter models, while Bawajan released Param 2, a 17 billion parameter model trained across all 22 scheduled languages. The push marks India's most coordinated attempt to close its AI gap with the US and China by building foundational infrastructure tuned to its own linguistic diversity. Why it matters? The binding constraint is not ambition, but data. Many Indian languages have thin digitized corpora, and tokenization costs per word remain far higher than for English or Mandarin, which means model quality will plateau unless corpus pipelines scale fast. Training still runs on imported accelerators from NVIDIA and AMD, so the sovereign label only stretches so far. For builders across the global south, India's approach is becoming a reference architecture. Singapore's Sea Lion and Indonesia's Sahabat AI follow a similar playbook of state funding plus local language focus. Capital allocators should watch whether these models attract commercial API revenue or stay grant dependent, because that gap will determine which sovereign model programs survive their first funding cycle and which quietly fall back into English-first defaults. That is your AI in Asia briefing for today. Stay sharp, do it well, see you tomorrow.